It's currently 11:30 p.m. This is where we're gonna stay tonight. We found a park and we just pitched our tent right here. That's the most corrupt police I've ever seen. What's up everybody, it's Maoshu here. Just in case this is your first time watching my video, I'm currently on a solo motorcycle journey riding from Europe to Asia. My current location, Georgia. Now, I'm already outside of Tbilisi and it's currently 12 p.m. And this morning I picked up my passport from the Russian visa center. I've been stuck in Georgia for about 24 days because I got here on May 23rd and today is June 16th. So I've been here for a minute, mainly because I needed to get the Russian visa here. I didn't really know that it takes a long time to get a Russian visa. When I first submitted the application, they told me it takes about 7 to 10 working days. However, on day 7, I follow up with them and ask if my passport is ready. And they told me no, so I kept following up, and on day 8, they got annoyed of me. They told me it takes up to 10 working days. So I gave up. I was expecting to receive my passport on the last date of the waiting period. However, when I got there, they told me it's still not ready. Why? Because there's a Russian holiday last week, so technically today is day 9. So I got one more day to wait. Well, today is day 10 and finally I went there early in the morning. Not too early, it was around 10:30. They open at 10 o'clock. And finally the visa was ready. So now I'm on my way to Russia and hopefully everything works out. I heard the border is pretty chaotic. There's a lot of big trucks, a lot of travelers going through that border, so I expect some delay. Oh my god, can I have, yeah. So today I'm really hoping to get as far as I could in Russia because I don't really have any plans for staying in Russia for too long. Mainly just, I'm transiting through and I hope to get to Kazakhstan and then I can start exploring Central Asia. That's my main goal for this trip. This is probably my last meal before I leave Georgia. And I'm gonna have their traditional dumplings. It's called kinkari. Yeah, they literally look like dumplings or xiaolongbao. I don't know what kind of sauce they eat the kinkari with, but I asked them for some vinegar. This is pure darkness. I'm already past Kazbeki, Stepantsminda. I'm about 10 kilometers from the border. Okay. Woo. Alright, I think I'm here. This is the Georgian border. Okay. There should be 2 separate lanes, one for trucks and one for regular cars. This is such a beautiful border. I had to pay some fines because my insurance expired. Yeah. Before I came to Georgia, I met some Russian travelers. They were in Turkey. They just came from Georgia. They even warned me about then checking the insurance. And I bought the insurance when I came to Georgia, but I wasn't expecting like to be here for a whole month, so I only bought half a month. Nobody ever stopped me for insurance, but I guess it's definitely mandatory, because whenever you leave Georgia, they will ask you, and if you don't have it, they're gonna fine you. Okay. Next up is the Russian custom. I'm a little nervous about this one. I'm gonna just skip this line because I think the trucks are in a separate line. Man. Is this really the way? Excuse me. Moto that way? Here. Ah, thank you. Yeah, I knew I was. Ah, okay. Oh.
Hi.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria?
You?
No, Belgium.
Belgium. Okay.
I think bikes have priority, you know, you can go.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, from Portugal.
Yeah. Why you stop here?
Just, you know, they let few cars enter and then you have to wait, you know. And then again, you know, 5 or 6 cars.
Okay.
That's why, you know, normally, you know, bikes have priority, you know, I think.
Right. Okay.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. Huh? Okay. Thank you, brother.
How many days you need from Portugal? Come to 2-3 days maybe.
3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
From Portugal?
From Portugal.
No way, it's a few, 2,000-3,000 kilometers only.
No, I spend a lot of time. I went
Maybe
to
you are
Morocco.
traveling a lot.
I went to Morocco.
Ah, to Morocco.
Yeah.
And now where are you going?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. Oh yeah.
What about you?
To Chechnya. To Russia. Chechnya.
Russia. Okay.
You know Chechnya? It's strange that you don't know it, because we have been a lot of fighting here. Russia, you know, war with Russia.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't hear it. It's strange, you know. Before
You're from Belgium.
Yeah, I live there. I had Belgium. I'm citizen in Belgium.
Oh.
I live there. Sometime in summertime, you know, I came to
Russia.
Yeah, I have here some relatives, you know, in Chechnya. That's why I'm coming.
Nice.
I'm also, you know, biker, you know, I do have a bike. Triumph, yeah, not such a bike.
Yeah.
And I have been, for me, you know, I don't have problem with my bag, and only pulse, you know, when you go, the maximum what I have done is 800 kilometers, 850 from Brussels to Quimper in front.
Yeah.
It was, you know, very difficult, because always, you know, this hand, even this hand, with this hand, you know, I drive, you know, to this side, it was difficult. But here, you know, you are sitting straight.
You told me to go.
Okay,
all right, man. Okay. Alright, it's currently 11:30 p.m. and we got out of the custom at around 10:30, but the most fun part is this is where we're gonna stay tonight. We found a park and we just pitched our tent right here. That's my friend I met at the custom. 我在录像啊。对。
Hello.
It's currently 6 a.m. in Russia, and last night was my first time wild camping. I met a fellow Chinese biker at the border between Russia and Georgia, and we left the border around 10:30 and drove to the first town after the border, which was about 30 minutes away. And after we got here, my GPS stopped working, and it started jumping around all over the place on the map. On Google Map, Organic Map, Maps.me, nothing was working. Not gonna lie, I panicked. I didn't know what the hell to do. That's actually the first time I've experienced anything like that. And he told me, since he started from China, and so he crossed Russia into Georgia before, and he said that's normal because there's some military zones where, you know, none of the GPS will work, and we had to pull over to the side of the road multiple times to kind of check the GPS to see if it's working, and then we had to kind of redirect ourselves. But after some time, we finally found a fast food restaurant. The biggest challenge was none of my cards was working. No Visa, no MasterCard, no Union Pay, nothing was working. And we didn't have any cash either. So we were talking to the cashier, the staff there, and also some of the customers were really helpful. They trying to help us order food. And eventually, the customers pay for our food, which was super nice. So, and after that, it was already 12 o'clock. And I was just so tired, and I couldn't really continue anymore because I just know once we leave that restaurant, my GPS would not work at all. So there's no way for me to find a hostel, which I previously saved on the map. So eventually I decided, you know, since my friend here has camping gear, we found a park nearby, and we just pitched our tent here. And this place is right next to the main road, so it was super loud, and I think the sunrise was at 5 o'clock, super early, and then yeah, you hear all the cars passing by, so I just got out. And yesterday, that border crossing was the most difficult, the least efficient border crossing I've ever had throughout my whole travel career. I don't even know where to start, to be honest. I got there around 2:30 p.m. and we didn't get out until 10:30, so that was roughly what, 8 hours. Yeah. Well, first, you know, I got to the border. There was a huge line of trucks, and I got through the trucks because motorcycles normally have priorities, so I just bypassed all the trucks. And after that, the custom took my passport. They looked, and they took me to a little room for a quote-unquote interview. And I was brought to this little room with a bunch of people sitting in there. There was no order. The officer just come in and out of a small room, and every time he brings one person in, shut the door, do the interview, and then come out like 15 minutes later. So we all had to wait there for, I don't know, I waited for like 45 minutes, and then it was finally my turn. I went in there. It was an interesting interview. He started out asking me a bunch of normal questions, you know, where I'm from, where I'm going, how long am I planning on staying here, blah, blah, blah. And then he saw my tattoos, so he asked me to show all my tattoos. And he asked me to take off my shirt, and okay, that's fine. But while I was answering all these questions, he was typing up like a letter or email or something, I guess, to describe me physically. And then he asked me for my password for my phone, and then he had to take my phone into another room for quote-unquote verification. So after he took my phone, you know, he asked me to wait outside, and then I had to wait for another 30 minutes. So Finally, I got my phone back. I'm not sure what they did to my phone, but I checked the message. I received some messages. I don't know. I hope they didn't install anything. But after that, I thought I was done, right? So I went back to the custom. I have to go through a baggage check. It was pretty thorough. I opened up all my bags and they had to look into it and see what's inside. I had to explain a few things. I had to explain a few items. And after that, I parked my motorcycle in the parking lot and came back to collect my passport. They gave me the stamp in the passport. And I thought I was done, right? So I went back to the parking lot and I was about to start my bike and just leave. And then I realized, wait a minute, where's my driver's license? Because at the custom, they asked me for my passport, motorcycle document, and also my driver's license. And then it was at that point I realized I don't have my driver's license. So I went back and asked around, where the hell is my driver's license? So after some time, finally they took me to a little booth on the outskirt of the whole, station, and I saw a bunch of people there, waiting in the line. Well, there's no line, okay? Everybody kind of just standing, in front of the window, trying to get to the window. But the officer told me I had to wait there to fill out a custom declaration form. Once I finished that, they will hand me back my driver's license. And that's when the hell started. My God, it was so not efficient. Like the officer would open the window every 10 minutes. They would only take one application. And after another 10 minutes, they open the window again, hand back the application, tell the person that he has done something wrong on the form. He needs to fill out the form again. So everybody has to fill out that form at least 3 times. At first, I thought, what could be so difficult? But then when it got to my turn, I finally realized it was their communication. They don't really explain things very well. They don't have a sample form for you to look at. And every time they hand the form back to you, and they don't exactly explain what exactly was wrong. So you end up have to do a lot of trial, and you have to go through a lot of experimenting to get it right. So finally, me and my friend got the form correct by the 3rd time, but it was already 10:30 p.m. That was definitely an ordeal. I would never want to go through that again. Yesterday, I didn't really have much food. I only had lunch at 12 o'clock. So I was getting really hungry. I ran out of water. There was no snack bar vendors or whatever at that border. So I started to get gassy in my stomach. And it was just miserable. Today, I'm trying to go as far as possible because I really just want to get into Kazakhstan now. And yeah, hopefully I can get to Thru. That's the first city after Russia in Kazakhstan. So yeah, let me just go back to the tent now. This is where we slept last night, literally at a random park. Alright, I decided to leave. My friend is still sleeping because it's still 6:30, pretty late, pretty early, and he told me he's got to sleep at least 9 to 10 hours every day, otherwise he's not gonna be able to move. So, but we'd exchange our contact information. And yeah, see, my GPS is not working at all. It says right now I'm right next to a lake. There's no lake. I'll just have to keep driving forward until I get out of this invisible military zone, and then hoping the GPS will go back to normal. It says the total distance is about 600 kilometers. That's not too bad. But I need to find a convenience store, grocery store to buy some water. I haven't had water since last night. I feel like the earth is burning. Whew. This is very close to the Kazakhstan border now. And I don't even know the temperature, but it's freaking hot. Okay, I found a restaurant. I'm about to have some lunch. I haven't showered last night, so my hair is kind of oily, greasy. Yee. Anyways, about to have some mashed potato, beef, and bread. Bon appetit. Check, check. I kind of underestimated the distance from here to Arai, Kazakhstan. It's almost 800 kilometers. There's no way I can make it there today. It takes about 10 to 11 hours to ride, and that's not including the time I spend at the border. I'm only going to this town near the border. I think it's called Astrakhan, something like that. Oh my god, this is like an inferno. It's freaking hot. Man, these cops are definitely taking their jobs seriously. This is the third time I've been pulled over by cops or military soldiers. Is that guy gonna come over? Oh my god, that's the most corrupt police I've ever seen. You see that guy over there? So he took my passport, my documents and everything, and he had me to go over to the car. There's another guy inside the car. And then they said the camera caught me violating the rules because I was crossing the solid lines when I was bypassing a bunch of big trucks. Okay? And they wanted to give me a ticket for $500. That's just fucking ridiculous. And then I begged them, you know, I used the translator to explain that it's my first time ever visiting Russia and I just came from Georgia. I don't have any money on me and I didn't know the rule. Please just give me a warning and I'll be very careful next time. The guy seemed to be upset and he was writing on the ticket. He then told me, okay, $200. And I kept telling him, I don't have any money, brother. So I showed him my wallet. I only have about 600 Russian rubles. And also I had some Turkish lira inside my wallet. It was just like a battle of attrition. I kept telling him, you know, this is all I got. And he was like, okay, bike in the parking lot, bike in the police parking lot. And he was trying to tell me, you know, he's gonna take my bike. So we kind of just sat there, you know, arguing back and forth. And eventually, my God, eventually he gave up. And he's like, he handed me back all my documents, and he's like, okay, you can go. And then I started, and then I was like, no, take all these money, you know, you can have all the Russian or Turkish money here, you have them all. But he's like, no, just go. Oh my God, that was fucking ridiculous. And then once I got out of the car, they pulled over another biker, and I'm trying to tell the biker what they're about to do to him. And then the other cop was like, hey, what? Kind of warning me not to tell him anything. So that's the most corrupt police I've ever met throughout my trip. But now I really got to be careful not to break any rules now, especially bypassing the big trucks. Oh, taking a little water break. I am dehydrated as hell. I'm like never drink these kind of soda, but I really needed some sugar. So I got this grapefruit, I got this grape flavor soda, and also one of my favorite candy, the sour Skittles. Man, I still got about 2.5 hours to get to Astrakhan. Woo. The whole earth is burning. I don't even want to check the temperature right now. It's probably above 30 degrees. This is really a desert climate. Woo. I am finally here. This is Astrakhan. Well, it really took a whole day for me to get here. And now the GPS stopped working. So I'm really like guesstimating the direction. I have no idea if I'm going on the right way. I wonder if the locals use different maps. You know, not like Google Maps, Maps.me or Organic Map. It's like a local Russian app. I think this place is right next to the marsh. There were just so many gnats. Kind of reminded me of my another hometown, Savannah, Georgia. Dang it. I think I went the wrong way. It's telling me to make a U-turn. See, this is the most frustrating part. The GPS is not working. And I'm in the middle of the city trying to find my hotel. Oh man, I gotta find this bridge. My hotel is on the other side of the river. Haha! Finally, I found this bridge. Oh man, the GPS is still not working. That means I still gotta pull over and ask other people where my hotel is. I've already been to like 2 hotels. The first one was closed down. Somebody lived there now. And the second one, the receptionist didn't really want to work there. My car was not working. I don't have any cash. And I asked them if I can exchange money there. Nope. And asked them if they know where to exchange money. They were like, nope. So with that attitude, yeah, I wasn't even trying to like communicate with them anymore. So now this is gonna be my last hope. It's kind of far from the city center. It's about 10 kilometers from the center. And I really hope I'm not gonna go through that area where the GPS stopped working.